Number 5. Missing dog. For centuries, dogs have been known to be man's best friend. But what happens when dog becomes man's lost best friend? Well, you're about to find out. In this backyard footage, you can see a man playing with his dog. At one point, the man even jumps. He then runs around in circles. Getting tired, he heads back inside. You can see the dog twitching in sheer excitement. However, the dog seems to catch the scent of something. You can see the dog's running pretty far. Hours later, the man returns, realizing something isn't right. He looks around everywhere for his dog. Becoming desperate, the man runs into the woods. Unfortunately, he is not able to locate the lost dog and hangs his head in shame. Days go by and you can see the man desperately trying to track down the dog. Each time, he is more disappointed than the last. Days go by, and a miracle happens. You can see something through the trees, moving. It seems his prayers have been answered as his beloved dog has returned, albeit a little bit shaken up, but overall, in good health. Strangely, the owner seems to approach the dog hesitantly, even hiding. He then slowly walks up to his dog. Looking up at him, the dog, clearly still frightened, backs up in fear until he turns around and runs at his owner. The camera mysteriously turns red and glitches. I don't know what that's about, but this is pretty wholesome. You can even hear the owner screaming with pure joy. Give it a listen. However, as wholesome as this appears, something mysterious did happen. It turns out, this is the last footage of that man. He's been missing for 5 years. Some say the man was overcome with pure excitement at locating his lost dog, that he ran into the woods, only to get lost just like his dog, this time for good. Number 4. Monkeys on a plane. Planes are an essential use of travel for many around the world, as it allows you to get from point A to point B. However, these passengers were about to go from point A to point Fear. One of the passengers even seems to be fast asleep. Meanwhile, you can vaguely see in the distance a figure flopping around and floating. Eventually, it floats up and out of sight, the camera mysteriously glitches, and we are met with a floating monkey man. For a while, nothing happens, and then the monkey man emerges. He then peers into the window and at the sleeping passenger. For a while, he watches. It's quite disturbing, and to everyone's horror, the door opens and they're met with a menacing monkey man. You can see one of the passengers frozen in fear. Understandably, the closest passenger trembles at the might of the menacing monkey man. He then collapses in sheer fear. Desperately, the man tries to get away from the mean, mighty, menacing monkey man. He then gets pulled out of the plane. You can then see the monkey man following behind, and that's where our footage ends. Some say it was merely a peaceful monkey god here to bring him to the monkey kingdom. I mean, perhaps. But the fact that he was so violent about it has me thinking twice. Not only that, the only remains that have been found of the man was a left foot, and I just don't think that's a good sign of this so-called monkey kingdom. Number 3. Morning routine. This footage comes from a woman who's grieving her dead husband. She claims her husband is still around in the spirit realm. As you can see, she's fast asleep. However, there's some activity in the kitchen. It starts out normal as you see the husband's favorite cereal, Grug Pebbles. After some time, it starts to move. You can clearly see it floating, even turning around as if the husband's reading the back of the box. The cereal then begins to float to a bowl, even pouring itself. The bowl is then brought out towards the kitchen island, where he pours milk into it. Excuse me. Later, you can see his car turn on. Mysteriously, he then pulls out of the driveway and starts to head to work. CCTV footage even captures him at an intersection, and as you can see, Nobody's in the car. Eventually, he makes it to work in office 12. You can see this by him bumping into the trash can. It seems his coworker is used to this as she has no reaction. He then sits down and starts the workday until he becomes bored and starts to play an office prank, him picking up a piece of trash and flinging it towards the coworker. Fed up, you can see the coworker leave the room. Minutes later, the boss arrives. As you can see, he's clearly disappointed. Eventually, he beckons the ghost to follow him towards his office. You can then see on the lobby camera the boss talking to him. Unfortunately, it appears the boss is now firing his dead employee. For a while, the boss continues lecturing him. Understandably stressed, you can see the employee bringing out a stashed bottle of alcohol, even taking a swig of it. You can then see him walking down the hallway with his belongings, clearly upset. Days go by, and CCTV footage captures him panhandling in a sketchy part of town. Unfortunately, nobody seems to help, and that's where our footage ends. Personally, I don't have much to say on this case. The only thing I'd have to say is, who's gonna tell him? Number 2. Goblin shark. The ocean is known for its vastness and fascinating species, as you can see by this ocean cam footage. However, the footage in question comes from a submarine operator. The footage starts out normal. He even sees a big fish just chilling. Eventually, he stops the submarine and heads out to go spearfishing. You can see him swim out into the distance and eventually out of sight. For a while, nothing happens. Then you start to see a curious shape in the distance, pretty far away, and just like that, it's gone. Until on the bottom left, you can see a goblin emerges. A goblin emerges. A goblin emerges. Eventually, it backpedals out of sight. However, if you focus in on the top right, you can see the goblin returns. Moments later, the submarine operator comes back, oblivious to the nearby goblin, and that's where our footage ends. Some say it was merely just a goblin shark, but personally, I'm not even gonna dignify that with a response. Number 1. Daily vlog. Daily vlogs are a popular form of media used to show people your daily life, as was the case for this especially annoying daily vlogger. Hey, what is up, guys? Get ready for another daily vlog. Make sure to hit that smash button, hit the like button, subscribe. The vlog starts out normal as he shows off his $1 million mansion for the 15th time. At one point, he even jumps off the balcony. Hey guys, make sure you smash that like button for me jumping off the balcony and breaking my legs. Later in the vlog, he heads to a busy shopping mall. He then makes it to the food court, where he sees a full line at KFC, deciding to play a prank. Alright guys, we're gonna do a simple practical prank. I'm gonna go up there and cut in line, alright? He proceeds to cut into the front of the line. However, the person he cut in front of does not look happy. The man pulls out a knife and stabs him. Oh my god, guys! You just see this? I'm being chased right now, guys. Make sure to hit that smash button, hit the like bell, and... The vlog then abruptly cuts to him walking in a city at night. However, that stabbing incident was nothing compared to what he's about to experience. You can see lanky, pale legs heading into the park. Oblivious, the vlogger then enters the park. You can see him walk by the creature, and it wanders away. Later on, you can see it again, and this time, it's not happy, and he runs for his life. The vlogger then hides in a bush where he asks for likes. Guys, I cannot believe what I just saw. Did you see that? Make sure to smash that bell button, hit the like, subscribe, and make sure to stay tuned for the next video because I don't know if I'm getting out of this one. So yeah, make sure to hit the bell and subscribe and make sure to watch the post notifications and just, I don't know, dude. He then tries to sneak out, but to his horror, the creature was waiting for him, but this time, he isn't so lucky. Unfortunately for him, this was his last vlog, uploaded 10 years ago. Some say this video is merely a hoax and the product of video editing, and that he's gone missing for 10 years to commit to the bit. However, I just think that's too much of a commitment. Regardless, next time you're daily vlogging in a city, in a park, at night, in a sketchy part of town where there's a cryptid, just don't do that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think I'm going to stay inside for the rest of my life.